And in fact, when I became Frum, I was already in my late 20s. I'd already been driving for 10 years. And I was a little bit concerned that my ability to drive competently would actually hold me back spiritually. Because one thing you've got to understand about us Ballet to Shuvah, people who became Frum later in life, is that we're all completely paranoid and desperate to fit in with all the Frum from birth Jews. And let's be honest, nothing is going to mark you out as a Baal Teshuvah more than being a decent driver. So in fact, I was so concerned about this, I actually spent 6 months attending driving lessons, how to drive Frum. It was actually a very good course. It was run by the BSM, the Baal Teshuvah School of Motoring. And it basically went through everything you need to know to drive like a proper Frummer. So, for example, it dealt with questions like what to do if you're going out to the butcher and you can't find a parking space. You don't park 5-minute walk away. You just stop your car right in the middle of the Golders Green Road, and as long as you put your hazard lights on, you can go in and get your meat. Who knew? Apparently you can even go into Kosher Kingdom and do the rest of your shopping as well. You can leave it a good half an hour like that. Basically, as long as you put your hazard lights on, you can stop your car wherever you like. We also dealt with all the theory, the Hamish Highway Code, which covers things like road markings. So, for example, double yellow line, which of course means parking permitted at all times. Can be confusing, that one, of course, because parking permitted at all times can also be indicated by this, by this, and by this. We also dealt with road signs. So, for example, this one. That's falling rocks, so yes, you can take a school trip that way. And don't worry about any safety wear. Silk coats and black hats are just fine. Then there's this one. That's fleishik, no milk for 6 hours. This one, that's your sukkah isn't kosher if it's above that height. And finally, quite a tricky one, this, slightly harder. Do you know what that one is, Stephen? Quite a difficult one. That one's actually this, Theresa May ahead. But then they published it in the Hamadiyah, so it had to become this.